Hello, I'm Bernadette Wagner, and I'm happy to welcome you to Healing, Hope, and Health, the program that highlights Hospice of Washington County's mission, services, partners, and volunteers. Today, I'm pleased to introduce Ann Mozingo, a dedicated volunteer, and more recently, a valuable employee. Ann graduated from Hager Business College and Maryland Medical Secretariat School. She also worked at the Washington County Hospital for 25 years before moving to Citibank. She retired in 2011 and soon began her volunteer service at Hospice of Washington County. Ann, thanks for being here today for talking with us.
You're welcome, Bernadette.
So, Ann, there are so many wonderful organizations in Washington County that need dependable, committed volunteers. How did you pick Hospice of Washington County to share your talents with?
Well, it came through a personal story with my dad, who had survived prostate cancer several years ago, and then in 2011 was diagnosed with lung cancer. And so right away I thought of hospice and getting involved for the care. But my mom was reluctant, like most spouses are. And finally, though, she relented, and I was able to get hospice to come in. And then I said when my dad died, then just 40 days later, I said, I'm going to give back, and this is what I want to do. I want to give back to hospice.
Because your family had such a great experience.
Yes, a great
with
experience, exactly. Yes.
That's neat. That's neat.
Yeah.
And your mom wound up thinking it was a really great experience.
She did. I thought my mom, well, she was very happy that I became a volunteer, and I'll talk a little bit later about when I decided to go back to work, what my experience with her was.
Okay, all right. So I understand you've volunteered in several different capacities at hospice. Could you tell us about the different volunteer services you've rendered there?
Yes, I went through the volunteer training, which is pretty intense, and it gets you ready for a lot of things. So I became a patient companion, and I was on call that I would go wherever they needed me and not have a particular patient for a while. Then I got...
What sorts of things did you do?
When I went out, well, you sit with patients, you provide comfort for them, you can get them a drink. You're not allowed to give medicine or to turn them or help them up or anything, but it's more of a companion, being there to talk to them and share stories. Yes, I would sometimes, and we always know what their religion is when we go in. Sometimes I would recite the prayers, some prayers for them, or they'd have their guidepost or some sort of devotional there, and I'd share the story with them for the day, or read stories out of a book that they might have.
Okay, that's great. That's great. And what else did you do there?
I worked in the office some. I helped. I filled in when Lindsay was out on maternity leave. I helped Erla do a lot of things in Lindsay's absence. I went to a few meetings to give patient reports and update on the volunteer activities, stuffed envelopes, sorted newsletters, whatever I could do administratively. I also filled in for a couple of the events that they had and helped them out with that.
Okay, and were you an 11th hour volunteer?
Yes, I was.
And what is that?
The 11th hour volunteer is when the patients are in the very last stages and the family is overwhelmed. And sometimes there's no family. And we have a lot of patients in our area who don't have any family at all. And we go even into the nursing homes and the hospital and sit with these patients during the very last phase of their life. It can be just a few hours that we have, or it could be 2 or 3 days as the patient passes. And so you're just there to provide a calming presence for the patient, hold their hands, sometimes just so they feel a touch, and talk with them softly, and also to be there for the family if they're there, because some of them have never dealt with a death. And it's very disconcerting for them.
And how was that rewarding for you?
You know, it's strange because I never thought that I'd be able to be around anyone dying, but my dad died so peacefully, and I saw that. And then when I went with my first couple patients, I had a death. And so it was very easy for me then to transition into the 11th hour. It was like God gave me a gift to use, to be with them.
A gift to be present to them.
Yes.
That's wonderful. And what was your favorite area of service? The administration, the 11th hour, the companion? Well,
I like the companion, but I think the 11th hour was my really favorite. And I gave that up right before I stopped volunteering because I had a skin infection, and I didn't want to take anything into any of the homes or into any of the facilities. So I said, I'm just going to take a short leave. But that was pretty good then, because I became guardian for my aunt, and I had to put her in assisted living. So it worked out better for both of us, hospice and myself.
Oh, that's great. And just recently, Ann, because of your knowledge of the organization and filling in so many different areas, you recently became an employee at Hospice of Washington County. What is your role there now?
Well, I'm a front desk receptionist, part-time. We do a job share. the former receptionist had left for another opportunity, and so they decided to hire 2 people to give better coverage, because they would have to pull either the nurses or the social workers to come and answer the phones. And the phones are pretty challenging. My first day, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I made a big mistake. But I tell you, Bernadette, I love it.
Oh, it's great.
I feel like I met one of the volunteers who comes in quite often and drops off papers. When I see him out in the area, he says, "Hey, Miss Hospice, how you doing?"
Oh, that's
so
neat.
It's a good feeling.
That's neat. And you're sort of like the air traffic controller of hospice.
I am.
Everybody's coming through you.
Yes, you've been in that front office.
I
You know
have
how
been.
it is.
Yes.
I do feel like an air traffic controller sometimes.
That's
yes.
great. That's great. You've had many experience with hospice of Washington County, and I'm sure you treasure many of them. Is there one special memory that really you hold close to your heart that you treasure?
I have a couple. One was my first patient who died while I was there, but I think my other one is a veteran that I had, and I had him for a few weeks, and was a World War II veteran, as was my dad, and so he wanted to share his story with me, and he told me so many things, and he was able to be up and about, because not all of them are bedbound, of course, and we would go to the kitchen and we'd have coffee and a cookie or something, and he shared all his stories, and then he'd say, "Did you ever watch NCIS and Gibbs?" I said, "Oh, I did," and so he said, "Okay, that's going to be what we're doing now. We're going to watch," so we watched like a marathon of Gibbs for the afternoon. But he had so many wonderful tales to tell, and he just needed somebody to talk to.
Mm-hmm. I think sometimes when you're that loving presence, you give people the opportunity to share their life, and they know that they've made a difference, that it's valued.
It is, yes.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Ann, and
You're
for
welcome,
the valuable
Bernadette.
contributions that you make to Hospice of Washington County. I'd like to thank Ann for being here today. Winston Churchill famously said, "We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give." Obviously, Ann has made a terrific life, for she has certainly given of herself in many ways. She has a remarkable gift of being present to others. She has the ability to discern when it is best to listen and when to speak, when to offer solitude and when to offer a supportive shoulder to lean on. If you, like Ann, want to make a great life, I hope you'll consider volunteering with Hospice of Washington County in some capacity. The next 3-day training session will be held on October 19th, 23rd, and 28th. If you're interested, call Hospice Washington County at 301-791-6360 and ask for Lindsay Anderson, Director of Volunteer Services. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
I'm the hometown favorite.
I'll outsmart you.
I will beat you.
I'll be surrounded by fans cheering me on.
There's no place like home for fighting cancer.
My turf.
My time.
My team.
Expert care, close to home. The John R. Marsh Cancer Center at Meritus Health.
Arbors Carson Jewelers has been your community jeweler for over 110 years. We have the region's largest selection of diamonds, designer jewelry, including bridal, gold, and silver fashion jewelry, and fine Swiss timepieces. We strive to combine quality, expert personal attention, and affordable financing to create an exceptional shopping experience aimed at exceeding your expectations. At Carson's Jewelers, there's something for everyone that will bring a smile to that someone special in your life.
Hi, I am Dr. Olenzak at the Pain and Spine Institute. I specialize in the most advanced procedures and technology available in pain management. At your visits and procedures, you will always see me for continuity of care. I would like to thank all of my patients for allowing me to provide you with the specialized care that you need. To give you this level of care requires a team. This is your team at the Pain and Spine Institute. To become a patient, call 301-739-7900 or go to painfree-md.com.
Welcome back. Our next guest is a person well known for her service to our community. Leba Cohen served as the Director of Institutional Advancement at HCC for nearly 24 years and was also the Executive Director of the Hagerstown Community College Foundation. Leba is an active member of several nonprofit boards and is the immediate past president of Congregation B'nai Abraham. Upon retiring, Leba worked briefly at Hospice of Washington County in the development office to assist with raising funds for Dewey's House, the first hospice house in Washington County, a cause she believes in wholeheartedly. While no longer employed at HWC, Leba remains committed to doing her part to making Dewey's House a reality. She joins us to tell us about the upcoming event called Dazzle for Dewey's House 2. Hi, Leva. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Bernadette.
I'm so glad you're here. So you're a member of the Dazzle for Doey's House Committee. Can you tell us about the work of this committee and who else is helping you with that?
Yes, Dazzle for Doey's House 2 is the second. So this wonderful committee worked last year and did such a great job. We were hired back.
They don't want to miss a good thing.
No. So we have a great group working with us, and some of the committee members, the committee members are Cindy Holzapple, Paula Lampton, Margie Hobbs, Suzanne Cass, Tom Reiford, Don Bowman, Lara Shepard.
Okay.
I'm talking about Lara and Morgan Gower and Shelley Steiner. And I hope I haven't left anybody off the list.
Well, that's an illustrious group of...
It's a great group.
Yeah, volunteers.
They're very creative.
That's great. So, Leva, when is this event going to take place and where?
Well, it is going to take place at the historic Milestone Farm, which is Don Bowman's wonderful home. He's been so generous donating it to us. It is on September the 12th from 5 to 8 p.m. And I happen to have a very nice invitation here showing all the details. So it's going to be fabulous. There's catering by the Rhubarb House, and there'll be music by the Ray Byerly Trio.
That sounds
Combo,
exciting. So, Leva, I know that you're very passionate about this, about working on this because you're passionate about Doey's House. What do you think it will mean to our community to have a hospice house here?
Well, I did not realize till I was working at Hospice of Washington County that there is no hospice house in Washington County. There's one in Frederick County, they're in Pennsylvania, they're in West Virginia. I think right now, if somebody needs the help of a hospice house, they have to go to Frederick or Montgomery County.
Right.
So, you know, they're already in need of support, and then they or family members have to travel outside the area, and that shouldn't be.
So you just see this as really filling a need for those?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
That's great.
And of course, Neil, who was Doey's Doey's son, saw the need firsthand.
Right, because he tells that story about, and that's why he's working on this to, in honor of his mom. Yes. Did you know Doey Glessner? I did. I knew Doris Doey Glessner. I knew her. She was a neighbor for some time, and her daughter, Paige Glessner Hershey, was our first babysitter. Oh. So, yeah, I'm not that old, but anyway. Yeah. Oh, that's yeah, so really. And Neil, I knew him as a young child. So this is a way for you to reconnect with those old friends as well. Yeah, that's neat. Yeah. That's neat. Unlike some fundraisers, Dazzles for Doey's House is a private event, and can you tell us about that? Right. It is private. We're kind of limited to space due to the fact that it is at the Bowman House, and it is in memory of Joan Bowman, Washington County's jewel. So we're kind of going along with that theme, but it is a private event. Certainly, people can make donations if they wish to do so, because all the money will go toward Doey's House. But it's going to have pizzazz, sparkle, as you can imagine by the theme. And if others are interested in hosting an event, a private event, similar to the one that's being hosted by Mr. Bowman, how can they find out about that? They can contact Hospice of Washington County, the development office. Morgan Gower is the person they would want to speak to. Okay. And they can set it up. We've had people do spaghetti dinners. I mean, they don't have to be glitzy, elaborate. They can be, auctions. They've had quarter auctions and makeup sales, all kinds of different ways. Absolutely. Yeah. So, it all goes to help build the house. Right. And it takes a community to come together to do that. Yes, and I have to say the community's been very generous, and if people have not had a first-hand experience with a loved one who has had a terminal illness, it's not just for cancer, anybody with a terminal illness, then they're still passionate about it, because you never know. You never know. And the hospice house is a place for someone to live their last days with compassion and dignity, and also it provides respite help. That's right.
and pain management, all kinds of things.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us, Leba.
Well, thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I'm so grateful to Leba for joining us today and for her leadership on the Dazzle for Doey's House fundraising project. We've heard many times that it takes a village to raise a child. While this is certainly true, it's equally true that it takes an entire community to build a hospice house. If you, like Don Bowman, are interested in hosting a private fundraiser, or if you want to participate in one of the many planned Doey House fundraisers, call Hospice of Washington County today. Thanks. We'll be right back after these short messages.
People don't realize it takes a lot to care for a family member in your home. John's dad was very headstrong, so I think that was a lot for him to get over and try to come to terms with that he had terminal illness. I would recommend to everybody to get hospice involved at the get-go. When you first learn about it, get it set up. It's going to make it, I mean, it's terrible what you're going through already, but it's going to make it easier for you in the long run because we couldn't have done it without them.
Call Hospice today. Hospice of Washington County, when time matters most.
From the smallest item of jewelry to the largest ceramic elephant, every 10,000 villages handcrafted product makes a remarkable journey.
All over the world, our products travel similar paths, over thousands of miles and years of artistic tradition. Our handcrafted gifts represent work that builds villages and sustains souls. They are the dream of a better life made real. Every product is a miracle.
I'm glad you're still with us. Today, I'm pleased to again welcome to Healing Hope and Health, Shelley Steiner, Hospice of Washington County's Director of Strategic Initiatives. She joins us to talk about the expansion of one of Hospice of Washington County's most popular fundraisers, Doey's Dash. This year, for the first time, Doey's Dash will be combined with the Western Maryland Half Marathon with the goal of engaging even more community members. Welcome, Shelley. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah. So, Shelley, tell us a little bit about, from your perspective, why Doey's Dash is such a popular event.
Well, Doey's Dash is a popular event because it combines a few different things. Exercise, which we all need, and it gives us such good benefits, exercise, but it's more than that. Doey's Dash has become a way for a lot of our families who have lost a loved one to get together and remember their loved one. Sometimes you will even see that some families get the name of their loved one on the back of their shirts and they move out together and start Doey's Dash together. So it's a healing process too, a way to remember sometimes that loved one has been gone for a number of years even, but they decide to do something in their name, and it brings the family together. And then there are also just the benefits of doing things in the community and making sure that we're giving back, and so people raise money just to help us.
And I think a lot of people are really understanding about what the Doey's Dash is, raising money for the first hospice house in Washington County. So I think that that's really, I feel very grateful to those people.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely.
So for the first time ever, the Western Maryland Half Marathon will be held in conjunction with Doey's Dash. How did that come about?
Well, the Western Maryland Half Marathon and 5K had been held before by the Habitat for Humanity. And this year they called us and asked us if we would like to inherit that race. And so we decided not to have our Doey's Dash in the spring, but to combine the two of them. And we'll have it in Hancock on September the 5th, and it will start at 8:30. We'd like the runners to be there. They can pick up their packets anytime after 7, but we would like for everyone to be there by 7:30 so we can get things rolling by 8:30 on time.
Okay, and so it's going to be held on the rail trail, which is historic and scenic and really nice flat course. So for a lot of runners, that will be a really great course to run on. They'll be able to have a good time. And I was wondering, how are we timing this? Are we using chip timing this year?
We're using chip timing, as we usually did for our 5K, but Ken Racine, again, Ken Racine Multisports will be there. They will kick it off the race. They will also do the timing, and they'll have the chip timing. So it will all be done very officially.
Okay, that's great. That's important to a lot of runners who want their times to reflect their best efforts. So maybe you can tell us if folks are interested in either running or walking in either of these events, where they can register.
They can register at active.com, or they can click through to registration from Ken Racine's website, which is racinemultisports.com.
Okay.
And you can find us that way. If you have any questions, though, you can always call hospice and we'll walk you through that.
Okay, and they can register for either, at both of those sites, they can register either for the 5K or the Western Maryland Half Marathon. And what is the cost associated with these races?
Well, if you're doing the half marathon, the cost is $55. However, if you go on the website in the next few days, there's a little discount for you. The password is hospice, so
Okay.
if you want to use that. And then also it's $30 for the 5K.
Okay, and what, I know that with a lot of different running events, the runners or the walkers, the participants are given little goodie bags. Will we be giving out goodie bags?
We will. First of all, everyone will receive a shirt. However, if you do fundraising and you go to a certain level, and that's all explained on the website, go to a certain level of fundraising, you get a special shirt, special type of running shirt. And but everyone will get that, a shirt minimum, and then there are also goodie bags, water and snacks, and who knows what all we'll throw in there.
Oh, okay, that sounds great. So Shelley, I was just wondering, are you going to try to walk in the event or put a team together from hospice?
Well, I normally do not, because we also are available to talk about hospice care and to talk about our mission at a table. So normally I'm under a tent talking about to people that don't know about hospice. But we'll see this year what I can do.
Okay. Well, that would be great if you could. You can walk and talk for sure.
Yes.
So that would be great. Well, thank you so much for joining us on today's show and to explain to our viewers a little bit about this exciting new event.
Yes.
So.
Please sign up.
Yeah. I'd like to thank Shelley for taking time from her busy day to be with us, and thank our viewers for tuning in to Healing, Hope, and Health. The Western Maryland Half Marathon and Dougie's Dash on September 5th will undoubtedly be tons of fun and very exciting, and it will benefit a great cause. I'm planning to run Dougie's Dash, not the half marathon, and I hope many of you will join me.
Arbors Carson Jewelers has been your community jeweler for over 110 years. We have the region's largest selection of diamonds, designer jewelry, including bridal, gold, and silver fashion jewelry, and fine Swiss timepieces. We strive to combine quality, expert personal attention, and affordable financing to create an exceptional shopping experience aimed at exceeding your expectations. At Carson's Jewelers, there's something for everyone that will bring a smile to that someone special in your life.
I'm the hometown favorite.
I'll outsmart you.
I will beat you.
I'll be surrounded by fans cheering me on.
There's no place like home for fighting cancer.
My turf.
My time.
My team.
Expert care, close to home. The John R. Marsh Cancer Center at Meritus Health.
People don't realize it takes a lot to care for a family member in your home. John's dad was very headstrong, so I think that was a lot for him to get over and try to come to terms with that he had terminal illness. I would recommend everybody to get hospice involved at the get-go. When you first learn about it, get it set up. It's going to make it, I mean, it's terrible what you're going through already, but it's going to make it easier for you in the long run because we couldn't have done it without them.
Call hospice today. Hospice of Washington County, when time matters most.
It is my pleasure now to welcome our next guest, Sue Comlish. After obtaining a BS in Environmental Studies from St. John's University, New York, Sue worked as a wildlife biologist for a nonprofit that helped private citizens create wildlife habitat on their own land. She's currently a stay-at-home mother of 2 small children who has a strong interest in the benefits of essential oils. Sue has embraced the mission of Hospice of Washington County's Community Life Centers wholeheartedly, and along with a group of friends, has offered to share her knowledge of essential oils with others in the community. Sue, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Great, yeah. So before I talk to you about your involvement at the Boonesboro Community Life Center, maybe you could just tell us a little bit about some of the benefits that you have personally experienced from essential oils.
Sure. Well, I've been using essential oils for a little over a year now. And my goal in starting to use oils was to learn how I could use the oils in my family just to promote our own health and wellness, And I think we've had a lot of success with that in the past year. As you mentioned, I do have 2 small children, and I've been very grateful to have oils to use or to go to for all of their little minor scrapes and bruises and cuts, things that they get themselves into, as well as the occasional tummy upsets. We turn to oils for that as well. And my husband is an avid runner. So he has his favorite oils that he uses and blends for his aches and pains that he gets from running. And for me personally, I've been really impressed with the oils. I've never been much of a coffee drinker, but my routine in the morning is to get up and go to my diffuser, which I use to distribute oils into the air in my home. So I go and I choose, my favorite aromas in the morning that kind of just help lift my mood, and it's just a good way for me to start my day in a good mood. So
right.
we
It's
enjoy
soothing.
it. It is.
So one of the things I've heard of aromatherapy, is that essential oils in?
Yes,
Oh,
they
it's
do.
the same thing. Okay.
They do use essential oils in aromatherapy.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So do you use essential oils primarily as preventative, or are they also curative?
Well, I don't have a medical background, and I'm not certified in aromatherapy or anything of that nature. So I can't really speak to medical uses necessarily. I will say that we use them on a daily basis in my home, like I said, in the diffuser. And then I also, I've been able to cut out a lot of the chemicals and toxic cleaners. I make my own cleaners using essential oils and some personal care products. So we use oils in that way on a regular basis. And then we have the ones that we turn to when we have, some...
A boo-boo.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, great. So oils, are they safe for everyone from little babies all the way up to senior citizens, or are there some, from your knowledge, is there some prescriptive or restrictions?
Well, essential oils are generally recognized as safe. I know they're used extensively in cosmetics and fragrance industries. They're also used as flavor additives in foods, although they are not regulated by the FDA. So you do need to be careful. When I am using oils personally in my home, you need to do your due diligence and call the company, make sure it's a reputable company, ask the questions to find out where their oils come from, how they distill them, and even though some oils can be labeled as pure, that may mean that they have other oils added. So you want to know the right questions to ask to make sure that the oils you're using are 100% pure plant extracts from the plant that's mentioned on the bottle.
Okay.
And when you do that, we always dilute our oils. In my group, when we use oils topically, we add just a few drops of oils to a carrier oil, another vegetable or plant-based oil. So we don't really feel the need to use them straight. They're always diluted, and that's a safe way to use oils.
Okay. And so now let's just talk a little bit about what you have offered to do at the Boonesboro Community Life Center.
Well, I'm excited. As I said, I've been using oils for a little over a year and been working with a group of friends sharing our experiences and how we use oils. So what we're hoping to do is bring that sharing to Boonesboro and offer some educational classes, so to speak, maybe about teaching people how to make their own cleaning products and personal care products, teaching people how they can use oils to promote their own health and wellness in their families, and then hopefully some community outreach
I
projects
did like the
too.
idea. The one idea was to do hand massages on members of the community that would want to experience that.
Yes, I love that idea.
Yeah.
It wasn't my idea. I saw a video someone had posted where they were sharing oils, doing hand massages, and I thought it's just a wonderful way to reach out and make a connection with the community and just connect with an individual, with a person, to share the joy that I've found through oils with someone else.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm grateful to all the community volunteer leaders, those like Sue, who feel called to give themselves to benefit the community. All of us, old and young, black and white, religious and secular, those with college degrees and those with knowledge gleaned through life's experience, have something worth sharing with others. I invite you to take stock of your abilities and consider leading a program at one of Hager's Hospice of Washington County's 3 community life centers. Remember, it is when we give of ourselves that we are most open to receiving from others. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time.